Well, Gulibon had a great Big Tens to get there. Ashnault went ahead, All-American. He's the first Rutgers wrestler to be an All-American in his first 2 seasons.
Well, he's done a nice job of just, he's got a clear definition, Anthony Ashnault, of how he wants to win tight matches, and he's just really tough in the top position.
Top of the head.
And to beat a guy 9-0, of course, what he had to do was go ahead and put Gulibon on his back, and he got an early takedown, and then he was able to go ahead and I think that's what Gulibon has to be considering of. It's because if you give up a takedown against Anthony Ashnault, probably likely the period is over. He's a tough guy to get out from underneath, and so you got to be sure on your shots. You got to be good on your finishes, and at the very least, just end up with stalemates. And so this is a match where I expect bigger things from Gulibon, just because that match kind of got away from him at the Big Ten championships, and happy to be there, but these are guys that are both used to winning, both 4-time state champions in high school. And now they put the work in at this level, and you see if it's going to pay off here, and start to see signs this time of year of guys that are really coming in the right direction. Both these guys are capable of doing that.
Gulibon, the All-American. When there's your underhook and chin, and it gets dangerous there, but Gulibon going out of bounds, but 2 points. Nice job by Ashnault, kept the toe in there, and looks like he's just got a different look in the eye.
Well, Tim, what Ashnault was able to feel was that the fact that Gulibon had set all of his weight in his heels right there, and was able to not be able to take him over when Gulibon lowered his level, lowering his center of gravity, lowering his rear end. Right, he was able to go ahead and release the pressure and sweep that, and ended up going right into a single leg finish. It was beautiful.
You see Anthony Ashnault, number 6 ranked on the Intermat rankings, our national rankings partner. That's Intermat rankings. They go across your screen every weight class, and Anthony Ashnault ranked number 6 in the Intermat national rankings at 141 pounds.
We'll see if Gulibon has done any work with the, getting out of that wrist ride and side tilt. That's what Ashnault is really good at. You see all the pressures forward. He elevates, see that right toe up in the air with the leg hook. He's got the weight off of, all the weight's on the hands of Gulibon right now. Knees are fairly light. And when you do that, it's just hard for a guy to get his first move going, because he's really effectively has about 125-pound bench press right now.
Stalemate. Here we go.
And you mentioned it, the takedown by Ashnault, now almost a minute of riding time, and it's the period might be over before we see them both on their feet again.
And that's why you've got to be, when you wrestle a guy like Ashnault, you've got to be sure on your shots and sure on your finish, and when he's aggressive and he gets his offense off. A great job by Gulibon, arresting the momentum in the match right there with the escape. And this is a very knowledgeable crowd. They understand what he just accomplished there.
Nice escape there. He heard us and said, hey, watch this. And he got out, and he's getting back in. He's fighting, but Ashnault gets the 2 points.
Well, he did that all from his knees, Tim. He didn't really have the power to be able to go ahead and attack forward. It was just more of a dive. He lost a lot of his strength there, being on both knees.
End of the first period. They're both 4-time state champions.
Cover.
A little specialness by Ashnault being the first ever 4-time and undefeated New Jersey state champion. And we've talked before about the tough prep wrestling in New Jersey, and this young man in the red was the first ever undefeated 4-time state champion in the state history.
Take a look at that.
Green warning on the ankle.
Gulibon just got warned for stalling. He's kind of found himself in no man's land there with the near leg hooked, and had to get up above the waist, and wasn't able to show improvement there. Really time for him to kind of walk off of that position, but he was able to break the riding time.
Too quick. Wait for it. Wait for it. Set. Cover.
Quad pod sand up there, hands and feet. He's driving in there. He's got the leg hooked. And I like what Gulibon did right there. He's going to be able to hook the leg forward. Too many guys don't do that. They don't hook the leg forward here. They just kind of let a guy go and get to a stand-up. That's a very easy position to stop. And you do it just the way Gulibon did there, by hooking that leg and putting pressure forward. These guys are both skilled at being able to, break a guy down. So the near leg hook right there. Then he comes back into the Navy ride. Now he's in a better position to compete.
The senior, Jimmy Gulibon, on top, erasing the riding time advantage that Ashnault had by his ride.
Improve.
Gulibon out of Latrobe, Pennsylvania, Deary Area High School.
You know, and that's the old adage I'd have is that just ride a rider, all right? If you got a guy that can go ahead and you know, put a lot of time on top of you, you got to do it to him that gives you an opportunity to go ahead and buy yourself in this sport enough time to get out. Nice sit out there by Ashnault. He's got to go ahead and work that arm down. Gulibon contesting it, forward trip, and beautiful job there with that forward trip and pinch. Right, now he's going to probably likely come back into that Navy ride there and snap one direction.
And a very knowledgeable partisan crowd here getting excited about the ride that Gulibon has put on Ashnault for this entire period. Now that short time here, big.
Right back into the Navy ride right there, and it's going to buy him another 10, 15 seconds. And finishing periods in the top position is important. Trying to go ahead and beat somebody who's ranked higher than you. Being able to stop Ashnault with 30 seconds down. Ashnault goes ahead and actually Gulibon takes the neutral position. I think it's a wise choice. Try to work Ashnault on the feet. Really, he's got a good attack rate.
Work center! Center!
And so you need a clear definition of what you're trying to accomplish here.
Center, gentlemen.
And that's 2 takedowns and a ride out give you the tie. Half shot there by Gulibon's having a difficult time getting over that left arm of Ashnault once he shoots. I don't want to be in this position. Ashnault does.
Stalemate. Here we go, guys. Here we go. Action. Let's go. Let's go. Keep action.
Gulibon with an escape and a full second period ride out.
I'm sure he's told him the strategy here. You're capable of going really fast here and getting after this guy. But just like we talked about in the last match, you know, where guys have leads and they go ahead and take those half shots just to get to the leg and hang on, just to burn clock. And you know, sometimes that really can be taken advantage of. Gulibon in on a shot.
He's got to keep coming up, and he is.
And he's allowed his ankles to get tied up. Now he hooked up the ankles there. He's going to try to scoop the bottom leg, but Ashnault doing a good job with the ankle pass in this situation. A lot of clock being burnt.
2 All-Americans going at it. 2-time All-American Ashnault on top, 4-1. And like you said, clock burning, but...
Well, and Gulibon's got to continue to wrestle. He's trying to frame it for the referee to get the stalemate.
Gets it, but probably about 15 seconds of time ran off the clock, and 3 points down. He's going to need more than just a takedown. We're talking about Gulibon trying to work his way back into that All-American form of 2 years ago.
Well, he's done 2 things that are important that he didn't do last time that he wrestled.
So it's 1 point for a stall, so it's 4-2 right now. No riding time.
Takedown ties it.
Takedown ties it.
Those 2 things are he was able to get out from underneath, and he was able to close out and get quite a bit of erase riding time. So if you're building a scenario for this to be even a match that go into Gulibon's favor, a lot of good things happen for him, but the All-American Anthony Ashnault did a nice job of keeping his composure and doing what he needed to do to win tonight.